Welcome back to 3-Day Weekend. I'm your host, Chris. I'm here with Laraine, and she's giving me fits again. Really killing me. Just came back from a long trip, hauling the fifth wheel back from Virginia to upstate New York, and developed a bit of a problem. No check engine light, just got some weird symptoms. We're going to go over it and show you what the fix is for this particular problem. I hope you can hear me over this as I go over the symptoms. Symptom number one, my air conditioning. I've set up my gauges with some custom stuff while I troubleshoot this issue. You see this pressure? 390 pounds, 400 pounds. This is with the AC on. 420, this is crazy. That is ridiculously high AC pressure. Obviously, a system doesn't charge itself, so there's a reason that pressure is so high, but I haven't quite put my finger on it yet. As we get a little closer to 500, you'll notice the pressure just went down. Oh, now back up, now down, and back up, and back down. And my cold air is no longer blowing cold air. It got cool and warm. Why is my AC running that way? Well, also up in these gauges, I have fan demanded load, and it's at 99%. That fan should be, the computer is telling the fan, I want you running at full speed. And look at the RPM of my fan, 194. That means my clutch is not engaging. That should be running pretty darn close to the RPM of the truck, which is right about 800. If you've ever noticed with these trucks, especially standard, when you're running low speed through a parking lot or something with your AC running, if I'm turning this kind of RPM, that fan should sound like a jet engine, and it's not. Whew, let me shut that off so I can talk to you. The other thing I noticed is in traffic, when I was slowing down following a semi at lower speeds, my temperature was creeping up. It did get up to about 224, which is not crazy, but I knew that this issue was happening, so I was being very mindful. So that's two symptoms: the AC not working very well, and the temperature not so much overheating, but creeping up when sitting still. That did not throw a check engine light. So that is caused by a fan clutch, a faulty fan clutch. So we're gonna run up to the shop and swap that out today. Up at the shop and ready to start. And pulling out the fan and clutch. You're gonna pull it out as a complete assembly along with the shroud, all as one piece, because it gets pretty tight in there. So right now I'm just taking out the shroud bolts. There's one here. There might be one on the other side. Mine is either missing or it didn't have one over there. Right here. See, that's just sitting there. So I don't know if that snapped off at one time. Looks like it did. So one less for me to do. And there's more than likely a couple on the bottom. Underneath, there are two more. One right there and one over there. Next up is this plug right here. I'm gonna disconnect that and this mounting bracket. Looks like that's 10 millimeter. Back up top. He removed my air intake for more space.
I'm gonna remove that box too.
The whole box?
Sure, why not? Give us a view.
He's going to take that box out. But now we need to get onto the, it's not really a nut, but that thing way down there. Focus. There it is. It says it's 36 millimeter. I believe I have a special tool for that. There's the tool we're using. Napa 36 millimeter fan tool. Part number. And it's got a spot so you can stick your 1/2-inch socket in there. Or driver. So we were up there struggling. I forgot that I had this part, 3900, which grabs onto those nuts in there. He's over here custom making one. I think I wrecked his day because we got it. But it was the right principle. headed the right way. We are grabbing onto the crank, which reminds me I gotta get that socket wrench off of there because it's on the crank right now.
Yeah.
Wasn't gonna be enough because the pulley can spin under the belt. So get yourself the right tool with that. Not you, Jerry. This tool.
Or you can make one. Or you can make one of these.
Or you can make one. Out of a matter of principle, it appears he's gonna finish making. Now it's coming right off of there. Look at that. Okay, so once that is off, the entire fan and shroud comes off as one unit.
If you were to crank this motor, what way would the engine go? I could just do this and go.
I don't think that's a good idea. Come on, it just slips out as one. What are you doing here? What's taking so long?
It's not slipping out. Ow! There's one.
That wire bracket. There you go. You see the bracket on the bottom? That keeps getting stuck on stuff. There we go. I wouldn't move this.
Whew. That is a big fan. What size were those, Jerry?
1/2 inch.
1/2 inch.
1/2 inch. Why is everything English?
It's a Cummins.
Should be metric.
You want to wash this or anything?
Nope.
Wash it.
It's a dirty Cummins.
Wait, why is that sitting low?
Just slide it back in. It's one. It's easy.
It's easy.
Back underneath. Drop the bracket down. I got that bolted in place. So I got the plugs ready to go. Now I'm going to put the shroud back in there and here while he continues to try to thread that fan into place.
Let's put that pulley back on.
He got it started. Ended up taking the belt off so he could spin the pulley. See that?
Because you can't spin the fan.
That's a neat idea, Dale.
Yeah.
Very cool.
It went right in. I'm up here turning the fan an 1/8 at a time, trying to thread it on. It's not working. Alright.
Alright, just gotta snug that up.
It seemed to be moving, so with any luck. Ah.
Absolutely nothing.
It's directional.
Right, so this one would be against this way, and you're pulling this way against that. So this should be that was backwards.
You had it backwards? You got it. Can't tighten it anymore.
I'd say you're good. She dorked.
I think that's as good as we're gonna get it.
Excuse you. I'll put it back together and spin that fan, make sure it's not rubbing on the wire going up to the clutch. And it feels clear. We do a test fire. Well, that looks a lot better. It isn't even being demanded on, and it's spinning faster than the engine is spinning. But it does say in the manual to run it at 2,000 RPM for a couple minutes to make sure the fluid gets all around where it needs to get. So I'm gonna throttle it up. Okay, so that relaxed it. Now I'm going to turn on the AC, which should demand it on, and that RPM should pick up. Did. So that is fixed. I'm back from my test drive, and this fan rips now. I mean, it's crazy. I'm back to my turbine, my jet engine turbine sound when I roll through the streets really slow at idle. So let me show you the gauges here. Oh, without that glare. Alright. So fan is not being demanded on, and it's cold right now. I just started it up for the morning, and it's already at or slightly above the RPM. But now when I turn on the AC, it demands it, and that used to go to 99%, and this would not change, and now it's only at 15, and it's already a little bit above it. And if I rev it up, look how many RPMs that turns now. It's not until you get up above 35 miles an hour or so that the demand goes off and it isn't demanding it anymore. And not long after that, you hear the fan just wind down, and it's more or less coasting after that. So that is normal operation. My air conditioning is ice cold now, and at idle my temperatures stay lower overall. Before they might creep up, especially really hot days pushing 90 degrees. It wouldn't get hot, but it would kind of just be creeping up. And the highest I think I saw sitting at idle in traffic at 86 degrees was 212 or so, but normally it stayed down in the 190s. Now it's in the 180s just sitting at idle with that fan on. I'm sure other things matter too, but that is definitely the fix. That AC, I mean, that has never been so cold. I'm so glad. That fan has been a problem for a long time, so I'm very happy that is fixed, and took care of all my other issues. So hopefully that helps you out. If it did, if you wouldn't mind hitting the thumbs up, maybe that super thanks if it helped you out. Really appreciate it. Also, consider subscribing. I'll put the button right here. All you got to do is click it. I really appreciate all the viewers, all the subscribers, and I really hope to see you again on another video right here on 3 Day Weekend.